everybody, this is Chef Janie Pendleton, and today I'm just going to make up a recipe. This is my original cookbook that I had written back in 1997, and today I'm going to take my original Snickerdoodle recipe and I'm just going to make something new up. So let's just chuck out the old book and in with the new, okay? I'm going to start with this gluten-free cake mix. And since this is Snickerdoodles, I went ahead and went with the vanilla or the yellow cake mix. And inside you'll find this package of premixed flour. And I'm going to take a 8-ounce container of Cool Whip topping. I'm going to need 2 pinches of salt, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 1 cup of sugar. And I'm going to work with these. I'll decide what I'm going to do here in just a minute for sure. Like I said, I'm making this up as I go. So, machine's ready and working. And I have my splatter guard on. And we are ready to get started. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to add the dry cake mix to my mixer bowl. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to give this a quick stir because this is settled in the package. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and add, I think I'm going to add my baking soda and my cream of tartar. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Put that in. About a teaspoon, a scant teaspoon of cream of tartar. Put that in there. Put that in. Okay, and since the cake mix already has probably about a cup of sugar, I'm just going to add about another 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And you're right, we're going to give that a quick mix. Okay, and to this I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm going to take a stick of margarine and I'm going to beat this in a separate bowl. Add the rest of this 1/4 cup of sugar. Give that a mix. Okay, once the stick of butter and your sugar has become fluffy, not as gritty, you're going to go ahead and add your 2 eggs. Oop. Oop. Okay, after adding the two very small eggs, I'm going to let this beat for about 30 seconds. I'm just going to scrape the bowl down. And beat for another 10 seconds. I'm just going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm going to add my whipped topping. And this is the part, I'm definitely guessing at this here, so milk, but I'm going to add half this Cool Whip topping to it. Okay. I added about 3/4 of this 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. I'm just going to drop the lid here and finish whipping that last big spoonful in. I'm just going to scrape the pan one more time here. Make sure we get all the butters and everything off the bottom of the bowl. Make sure we get all the sugars. Give it one last 10-second spin. I'm going to go ahead, and here's my dry mixture. And I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of cinnamon to my dry mixture. Okay, I'm going to turn my mixer down to low, and I'm going to gradually add my dry mixture into my mixer. So dry into wet here. About half cup to 1 cup intervals. Give it a second to blend. Go. Crank this up a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Turn it off, and we're going to scrape down the sides of the pan. This smells really, really good. And I'm just going to let this whip up for about 30 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to add, right here's a half a cup of my gluten-free flour mix. And I'll just add that in a half a cup at a time. It still needs more. Another total of almost 2 cups of my gluten-free flour, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of this baking powder, and we're going to see how it does. I added all that flour was another teaspoon of xanthan gum, so I'm just going to go ahead and add that now. Maybe about a teaspoon and a half. We'll add that back in, and we'll see if we can't get a better consistency here. Okay, in a separate bowl or a cup here, I've just mixed about a half a cup of sugar and about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay, I got this dough thick enough. I rolled it into a ball in my hand, rolled it in the cinnamon and sugar, just like you would a regular snickerdoodle. And so let's fill up this pan and let's bake these up. Okay, I'm preheating at the oven to 370. I'm going to bake our snickerdoodles at 370 degrees for 8.5 minutes to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. Okay, so here are our snickerdoodles when we made them into the same consistency, maybe a little stickier than the normal snickerdoodle cookie, but I'm going to let them cool here for a minute on the cookie sheet, and I think that will help us scoop them off. They're cracking, as you can see. They look really, really good. And here you have it, my snickerdoodle, gluten-free snickerdoodle cookie. It's very soft. Feels like it's going to be very chewy in the middle. I bet these are going to be delicious. This is Chef Janie. Enjoy.